My wife's always telling me, honey, size doesn't matter to me. Well, to me, size matters. This battery cable from the positive to the starter is not going to work on our 67 Firebird. I need to make a custom cable. Hey guys, it's Brian and welcome back to another Firebird Friday video. Today, we're talking about size and how size matters. It's a joke. It's funny. Stop laughing. Anyways, you know, this is not long enough. So I jumped online, went to the few world famous Firebird, Camaro, F-Body, first gen catalog websites. They wanted like 75 bucks plus another 20 bucks in shipping for a battery to starter cable. And I thought, yeah, no, not going to happen. So I decided to make my own. So let me show you how we're going to do that. Let me stop yapping and start working. Let's go. Alright, if you guys are not familiar with the first gen F-Body cars, Firebirds and Camaros, the battery sits up here in the very front passenger wheel well area, and the starter on these cars all the way back over here. So it's damn near 6 feet to go from the battery on that side down and under the motor and over to the starter. So we're just going to make our own cable. Alright, so I just ran down to CarQuest Auto Parts to get a few things, and about $25 is all it took. I bought a new battery terminal. I bought a couple of these here copper terminals to go on the starter side. And then I bought 6 feet of number 2 wire. And I'm going to show you how in about, 10 minutes, maybe less, not even a beer, we can put this together and make our own custom, perfect battery to starter cable for this 1967 Firebird 400. Let's get into this. First thing we need to work with are these. So go ahead and pop yourself out one of these. Kind of get a look. See, they're just basically a copper lug. They're kind of flared here to help with the cable. So just take a vice grip, roll this in a little bit tight. Now, alright, so we have our lug in here, and we need to make sure that we can get the depth of this to be able to go in there. So, measuring that out, I'm thinking, and we did kind of cut this wrong, so right there. So let's go and cut that off. So I'm just cutting down through it so you can kind of start to feel wired and kind of feel the plastic is going out. And just turn it. There we go. Alright. Alright, there's one in for us. Okay, now that you've got that cut, in the plumbing section you can pick up some flux and some core, some solder. Go ahead and open this up and we'll go on to the next part of this. Go ahead and put this in here. So we're going to use one of these torches to heat up our solder and heat up everything to make it warm so it expands and will grab on tight. So you're going to take your flux, you're going to take a little bit on that brush that comes with it and just coat the inside of this thing. Good. Next, we're going to get out some solder, and you're going to fill up enough, probably as much as you can, about halfway with solder. Doesn't take much. Next, heat this up a little bit. Try not to get the heat it up. Let it sit for a minute, turn that off. Hopefully you guys are able to hear me. Awesome. Now, try not to burn any of that plastic. And you see I went a little too high on the cut in there. And just in case you're asking yourself, will that hold, Brian? Will that really hold? Well, I'm putting my weight into it here, and it's not going anywhere. So that's going to hold for us. Kind of up close there. Hopefully you can see that. I will put some electrical tape around that and kind of close that up before we put that onto our starter. So now we got to do this end. So here's what we're working with. This obviously is the part that you'll tighten up on the battery terminal. This is the part that goes on the cable. So we're going to do our best here. Get that there. We'll get a wrench for those. Okay. Go and loosen these up real quick. They're around that tight. Okay, got you in there a little tighter. We're going to open this up. Okay. That might be about right. Take our cable. And again, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to have to measure just how far down that needs to go. And I'm guessing about like right there. Then we'll take it. Then test fit this, and that's going to work just fine. However, if you notice on a commercially available one, you have this little pigtail. So we need to add a pigtail to this as well. And so I pulled off the red wire a little bit with a little circular tab so we can add that to our wiring harness. We'll just go ahead and add all this together. Good, good. That's tight and that's tight. Pull it out of here. Sweet. We now have custom cable. Alright guys, so with about $25 in parts and about 5 to 10 minutes of our time, we now have a custom battery to starter cable for the 67 Firebird 400. So with that in mind, I think our next video will be putting this on and getting this engine started. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, if you're into DIY garage stuff that you can do, or Firebirds or Camaro first gen F-bodies, hope you subscribe and stick around. We got a lot going on in the next few months with this 67 Firebird 400. Until then, we'll see you next Friday for another episode of Firebird Fridays.